Hi, Katina.
Hey, Dana. It's
So
very
nice to meet you.
Well, I feel like we're kindred spirits, that we both walked the Lyme road and we both had a really treacherous journey. And I applaud you for holding on so fiercely to your beautiful spirit. And we witnessed part of your story in Under Our Skin. And it's
Yes.
wonderful for me to meet you now here on Skype.
Oh, you too. Gosh, I mean, I just can't believe the timing of things. It's all sort of emerging. Um, this need, this sort of phoenix from the flame of consciousness from this dark place of illness. And I love that we're doing this at the same time. It's so exciting.
I know. I mean, this synchronicity is beautiful, and I don't think it's a coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that having experienced near death to Lyme disease and being bedridden for years, misdiagnosed for 5, and a homeopathic practitioner of 20 years when I got sick,
Wow.
and the medical community not having any answers, and it was a fellow natural healthcare practitioner that finally found the illness in me, and then 5 years of alternative treatments to get well. I didn't use the antibiotic route.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Amazing. Okay, great.
Amazing, and really amazing. But it was
Yeah.
5 years of steady work, and I have my book that you know about, Out of
Yes.
the Woods, Healing Lyme Disease, Body, Mind, and Spirit, which shares my Phoenix Rising story, the whole downward spiral, the bottoming out, the kind of the death call.
Yes.
The illness, I think, knocks on our door spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
It asks us to die, and many of us have to let go. We have to let go of pieces of our lives and pieces of our spirit. But then there's this amazing process of self-discovery and growth and rebirth. And then, as you said, the phoenix rising from the ashes. And I am blessed and honored to now be out in the world helping others with Lyme disease education and inspirational talks, and my show Limelight Radio, which is a weekly venue now to bring dialogue to the world and to America on this topic with great guests, and I want to have you on. But could you tell me, Dana, what prompted you to do the E-Summit? After all that you've been through, you've done so much work. How did you get to the E-Summit?
Well, you know, let me back up. With Under Our Skin, it was 2005, on tour with you two. Not sure how I made it through that. I was a warrior to be out there, but I was also a little bit in denial of how bad it was. And since the film, I have laid really, really low. I did 3 years full-time treatment with Klinghardt, and he got me. He resurrected me. He got me back, and I was well enough to move home back to the Bay Area. And I've just been laying really, really low for a lot of years, just enjoying calmness. And I'm better, but I have to really, really control my environment. So I haven't. There's no way I could go back to the music world. I just don't have that endurance. And I've been really sort of confused on what to do with my life, honestly. I mean, I'm just so happy to have life, really.
Definitely.
And I'm just so happy to have it.
Exactly. I know where you're at.
Yeah.
I was definitely there. I remember those years of finding the balance point, of honoring the inner self, and listening, like you said, to your intuition, and realizing you need to rest.
Yes.
And recalibrate and tune into nature, and not push out into like the doing, achieving, thriving stage quite yet.
Yes. And I just found I was thriving in quiet. I was thriving in just days without pain and simplicity, and just, you know, having a loving environment was enough for me. And so I sort of let go of achieving anything and having a name for myself. But what continually kept coming up was this Lyme story, because I'm in the film, and I didn't want to talk about Lyme disease ever, ever, ever again, if I'm totally honest. That was like a nightmare that I had, and I don't want to talk about it anymore. And the reason is because I didn't want to talk about Lyme in isolation. I want to talk about healing. I want to talk about this incredible opportunity. And I was in a meditation, and this is in June, and I just sat in meditation. Literally, it was 4 hours, and I'm like, I need direction. And I asked, bring me my partners and allies, and show me what I'm supposed to be doing. Because now I put my hands up. If I'm supposed to help with Lyme, I'll do it. And I said, if that's the case, bring me my partners and allies. And I got home from that retreat, and there was an email from a friend that said, Dana, you must meet Brent Martin. Brent, Dana. I think you two are up to the same thing. And he had just put on his website, just came out with his story of Lyme disease at the same time. So we met and said, all right, it's all aligning. We're supposed to do something.
Yeah.
So we gathered ourselves, our thoughts, and we don't want to talk about just Lyme disease because we don't believe it's just Lyme disease. It's just about a bug. So we decided we want to talk about the core principles and what we've experienced in overcoming chronic illness, some foundational things in the physical, healing your gut, for example, huge. Detoxing your home, huge. These are simple and free, a lot of it.
Yeah.
And then we move into the mindset and then into the energetics of the illness. And it's been, I gotta say, it's been an incredible journey. It's been a fast road because once your mission is on, it's been very fast. It's been 3 months.
Wow.
And so we're getting to work together and getting to know each other at the same time. And there's so much alignment with us. It's kind of magical. But it hasn't been 100% easy, that's for sure. This is, we're doing this with no funding. We're making it up on our credit cards, and it's a labor of love.
Yeah, I know.
We're making it up.
Yeah.
We're literally like, we don't know how this next thing's going to even happen, kind of like that. But there's been so much grace in it, and that's why we know it's important. And things like meeting you, aligning with you, and the timing with you is so awesome. And I'm sorry we were booked out on speakers. I would love to have a full interview with you, and I think maybe we do that in the next one.
Yeah, I'm looking
and
forward to it.
I'll sneak that in here.
Yeah.
We're gonna do, our next summit is gonna be Lyme Less, Love More.
Beautiful, love that.
And it's gonna be about the family dynamic. It's gonna be about your spiritual connection to your purpose and also self-love.
That's
and all that.
So where I'm at, Dana.
It totally is.
Totally where I'm at, and where Out of the Woods really resonates. That very same story. So I'd be honored. Thank you for
I'm excited. Okay, good.
Summit 2.
Yeah, so I love that we're doing this. I think there's so, and also at the same time, Under Our Skin 2 is in production. So that's going to be coming out. And I always felt a little, I don't know if frustrated is the word. It was incomplete with Under Our Skin. There's no real backstory on my thinking and how I got through it, because it's so much about spiritual strength to get through.
So much about spiritual strength. I mean, this illness takes you to your knees, literally, physically, yes. As you know, vividly. You get stripped
flattened
to bare bones
yep.
at every level. And spiritual strength is, we end up being spiritual warriors in this journey.
So true. And yeah.
And a higher calling. What I experienced is that when I finally surrendered the ego and this whole concept of who am I in the outer world, like a mother, a partner, a homeopath, my IRA, my house, because all of that went.
Right.
It all had to go. In order for me to get well, I had to let go of it all, to have the money, to have the healing time. And you're right. I think the spiritual warrior and development and self-growth is so much a part of this story.
It is. And you see, I I feel fortunate because I had a lot of spiritual sort of training at an early age. I was always very curious. So I had a lot of background spiritually before I got ill. But even if a person doesn't have that, Lyme will make you reach. It'll make you reach really to the core of who you are. And it's so exciting. Now I'm feeling like partnering with people like you and Brent and all these people that are merging. You know, over 2 weeks on Facebook, we've got about 1,200 people talking. It just makes me realize how important this is, and how hungry people are for this, like outside of just this physical suffering. Like there's got to be a reason.
Yeah. So tell us, Dana, because I know people are curious when they hear about the
banging.
Summit.
Yeah.
When they hear about the East Summit, tell us exactly what these next 3 days. It starts on the 18th? Is that right?
It starts tomorrow. Let me introduce Brent to you. Brent
okay, first let's get Brent on board.
Oh, look, he's just like in the wings. Look at
Hey, just walking by.
just walking by.
Just walking by.
Brent Martin, right?
That's right.
Brent
nice to meet everyone.
It's great to meet you. I'm Katina Makris.
Hey, Katina.
Wonderful. And you guys have this gorgeous backdrop behind you. Where are you, out in Seattle?
It is. It's beautiful. A little chillier than I'm used to. I'm from Louisiana. So, you know, what's it, September? Yeah, it's a little chilly for September. But I dig it, though. It's nice. It's nice.
It's gorgeous. But I don't hear your Southern accent.
It's in there.
You know, it's in there.
Ask him where he's from. Ask him where he's from.
Where are you from, Brent?
Born?
No, just say it. No.
Okay, I'm from Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Baton Rouge. It's in there.
Well, Louisiana's a pretty state. It's got really some special spots, doesn't it?
It does. Got a lot of culture. It's really awesome.
Really rich culture.
Yeah.
So, well, it's been wonderful to meet the two of you, and I am curious because I know people are probably wanting to know some of the details of what the next few days are going to be like, the 18th, 19th, and 20th at the East Summit. Could you fill us in?
Yeah, absolutely. So the East Summit, so it's 3 days. We're broadcasting it for free. Just go to the site, lymelesslivemore.com, and you can register for free. And day 1 is going to be physical. We kind of have the 3 days labeled differently. So day 1 is physical. We have 4 speakers that day. It starts at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. East Coast. And each one of the speakers are 2-hour increments. So on Pacific time, it's 10, noon, 2, and 4. And then on East Coast, it's 1, 3, 5, and 7. Those times. We'll be releasing each one of the speakers. And then day 2 will be the same schedule. We're talking about mindset. And on day 3, we're talking about energetics. So,
nice.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
It's sort of like starting at the base and moving up.
Working our way up.
We're working our way up. And we could announce here maybe, we just added, and again, this is the crew you're looking at.
I love this crew. You guys are great.
We're everything.
Awesome. You're inspirational, you're creative, you're dynamic, and you're hardworking. And
this is our tech guy. We're the creators, we're the founders, we're the writers, we're doing everything. Yeah. So we do want to say forgive us if there's anything. This is the first time. But we've also just added a chat. So when we launch these videos, we will be on the chat.
Yeah, we'll be live there
in real time to connect with people, answer questions and stuff like that. We're really excited. I mean, again, we didn't want to talk about protocols necessarily because that's so individual and so ever-changing. We want to talk about the fundamentals, and I know, Katina, that's where you are with it too.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, each one of us, we are unique. And we each have our genetic strengths and weaknesses. And as a classical homeopath, I don't know what people know of this profession. I think on the West Coast you're more aligned with it. But we recognize that individuals are born with constitutional types. So when I look at Lyme disease from my professional point of view, I can see why some people get neurological Lyme and why some people get arthritic and some people get gastrointestinal, because some of it is your genetic strengths and weaknesses, where the organism is going to set up camp and, you know, create the inflammation process. So you're right. You can't just have like a one-size-fits-all protocol routine that works for everybody. It's got to be so individualized. And I think, Dana, you heard me express my sentiment around this, that I believe this is the epidemic illness of our era that asks us to unite the two hands of healthcare.
Yeah.
And
Amen.
True holistic health.
Asks us to take the diagnostics and the pharmaceutical weaponry when needed of traditional allopathic medicine and marry it with the supportive therapeutics of natural complementary medicine, because two hands working together are better than one.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so I can appreciate that you didn't want to get into so many protocols, because I agree with you. And some people need a lot of nutritional work, and some people do need antibiotics, and others need tons of acupuncture and dietary changes, and it's a complex illness, but we're at a fortunate time where we have these various disciplines available to us in the country.
Yeah, and what we're trying to bring is really, what can we do in between doctor visits to support our body, and things that we can do on our own, and even how can we heal gut, consider detox, electromagnetic fields. We have a tapping. Julie Schiffman with tapping is going to be showing us some great tips and strategies there.
Yeah.
Amazing. And so it's really always supportive, simple things you can do on your own. In between doctor visits, outside of the protocols.
That's a big deal. It's
supporting
this piece between in between doctor visits. It's almost like, I remember I used to hold off on my health until I got to see Dr. Klinghardt. It's like, what are those things in between that you can do so you don't fall in between the cracks? Really.
Yeah.
I know. The self-care and the self-love, as you said. So many of us are so hard driving and self-critical, and we're achievement-oriented and product-oriented and success-oriented, and learning the self-love and the self-care and being with ourselves. It's not easy at first in an American culture to embrace that, is it?
No,
it's not.
All of a sudden you're just in quiet and you're just still. Yeah, it's...
Yeah. And it's freaky.
It's freaky, because all the stuff, the noise comes up.
Yeah. And all the craziness from the Lyme comes up, like, the buzzing in your head and the anxiety rushes. And
do you get the tuning fork inside? Do you get that buzzing inside?
I used to, and not anymore because I'm well now, but I used to have this high-pitched, like, a really high buzzing thing, and I would be saying to others, "Do you hear that?"
Nope.
Either that or voices, just pick your poison.
And I'm like, what? I said, maybe it's the high tension wires outside on the street. Like, maybe it's like a satellite dish, or now it was the bugs, but
yeah, I still get that, especially when I get a little tired. That sort of vibration inside. It's really
vibration inside. Yeah.
We're learning that's from EMFs. It's sort of the reactions of the bugs.
Holding up, Dana, I'm wondering, because you've taken on this project and you and Brent have tackled it, and you're still health-wise, how are you managing?
We just learn to take the illness with us. We pack our protocols. We it's meant everything to partner, because we share in the joy and we share in the burdens. And Brent tends to get the real brain fog, and I'm like, no, you can't go down. Don't give me that look. Do not give me that look. I don't care. Get some coffee, do something. And then mine is just, I get the when I go down, I get the aches and the pain and the inflammation. So we're not alone. We're doing this together, and that makes all the difference. But I am already looking forward to some days off.
Nap would be good.
A nap. We try to manage our care in between, and it helps to not have to explain to someone what's happening.
I can imagine. Yeah, that's an extra little perk, isn't it?
Yeah, and we're both away from our homes, and we've just created this little alternate reality with each other, and it's been very, very blessed, and so great to meet you. Thank you,
Great
Katina.
to meet you. Congratulations.
We'll be in touch.
See you.
Blessings.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.